This video is made under fair use and is made for educational purposes. This is Kim Paddock. I would like to make a video about the entire electric car hoax that is going on right now concerning lithium-ion batteries. And I'm going to step through this with you. I will start with what I saw on And We Know today about the EMFs that come out of the charging stations for these vehicles. So let's start with that.
Things, you know, if you own an electric car, it means you will be exposed to high EMF daily. Symptoms of radiation poisoning, loss of smell, loss of taste, hair loss, nausea, brain fog, etc. Here you go.
Off the charts. Just gonna walk around here, show you guys how much EMF. This thing's just going crazy. Right? Look at that. It's going so high. Shouldn't even be standing here. But as people charge their car, that radiation cooks the body. That's why they're pushing this. Now, what's interesting is we look around here, and it's just an open parking lot. So there's no towers, but this whole system is all linked up to the towers, and each car is also acting like a tower, emitting harmful radiation.
So looking into that, we wonder what other things might be going on. Well,
And I'll just stop it right there because that gives you an idea how they're cooking us with these electric cars, for one. And then what got me started on this was Oregon's big push for electric vehicles. I mean, more than Oregon, there's quite a few states that are pushing for it, but I live in Oregon, so I pay attention to what's going on here. And Commie Kate here, which is our ex-governor Kate Brown, the satanic androgyne, that thing's a man, by the way, starts with legislation to remove gas-powered vehicles and replace them with electric cars. This is May 26, 2021. So this is part of their agenda. Then we'll go to this one. Electric cars can catch fire due to defective or damaged lithium-ion batteries that power them. However, electric cars catch fire less frequently than gas-powered cars. Sorry. Electric car fires are harder to control and extinguish because lithium-ion batteries are difficult to keep cool and can reignite hours later. Did you know that? Some fire departments may not be familiar with how to put out electric fires. Okay, so let's take a look at the pictures I found of electric car fires. There's one at a charging station. There's a Tesla. They seem to do this, catch fire at charging stations a lot. Oh, there's one that caused multiple house fires. Charging overnight destroyed that one. Electric cars catch fire on the interstate, and they burn hot. Look at this. This is all that's left. Tesla Model S mysteriously catches fire. Yeah, it's a mystery to me. But there you go. So let's look at some more pictures of electric car fires here. I mean, basically there's some of the same photos and everything, but you can look them up if you'd like more photos. And then we'll look at this. A condo in Keystone, Colorado. The association at Keystone Resort informed them that EVs are not allowed to be parked or charged in their garage. And of course, a lot of garages and parking spaces are saying no. And that one talks about the board of managers saying they can't park these electric vehicles due to the fires. Underground parking lot bans electric vehicles, and many of them are doing that now because of the excessive amount of fires. It would take down every car in there. It's ridiculous. Oh, here's a little misinformation there. There were 1,529.9 fires per 1,000 vehicles for gas vehicles. 1,529.9. I guess there was 9/10 of a car that was burned there. And just 25.1 fires per 100K sales for electric vehicles. Really now? I've seen so many gas cars catch fire in my life. Not. Oh my goodness. So I looked for gas car fires, and I looked at the pictures here. And what they are showing you is, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, 5 cars burned in a parking lot, but somebody caught them on fire. It wasn't a gas car that caught fire. And here's some here in a parking lot that supposedly burned down due to somebody's grill. Then they show them in forest fires. There's a burned up one in a forest fire. And there was one that was burned up to cover up a homicide. Where's all the gas-powered cars that are catching on fire everywhere, people? And there's one from a California fire. I mean, and some of the fires they show you are of the electric vehicles catching fire. When I looked under how many gas-powered vehicles burned down in 2022. Do you see one that wasn't in a forest fire? Me neither. Here's some more of them that they're showing. Tesla models burning to the ground again. Electric vehicle catching fire again. Where's the gas ones, people? Oh, those look like they were from the Paradise Fire. The one that they zapped. And those cars aren't burned out because they're gas. So anyway, it's just misinformation all over. Now let's look at the history of electric cars. Low Tech Magazine is a great site that I found, and I would recommend that you go there and check them out. Here's an overview of early electric cars from 1895 to 1925. Did you learn that there were that many of them that early in school? Anywhere? 100 years ago, electric cars were common sight on city streets in Europe and the United States. Many of them had a range comparable to that of today's EVs. Wow, they were just as good, but they didn't burn up? Below is an overview of early electrics and their specifications put together from sales catalogs and books. And so here's a 1907 catalog, and there's quite a few there. But then if you go down the page, look how many more there is. Look at all these. We're never taught that all these electric cars existed. We're only taught about gas, gas, gas. And here's the bottom of the brochure from 1907. That's how many you could get. Look at all these beautiful things running on electricity. Now we'll look at hemp fiber batteries. Most supercapacitors use a substance called graphene to store electricity. It's a type of carbon that is well suited for electrical conductivity because it's incredibly strong yet extremely light. Graphene is used in lithium-ion batteries, which can be found in cell phones as well as many other rechargeable devices. Unfortunately, it's also expensive, which in turn has led to the exploration of cheaper alternatives. In 2004, a group of scientists decided to study the use of leftover hemp fibers to create supercapacitors. It was discovered that by studying the volts by amps curve, the hemp cell had a value of 31, while the lithium cell only had a value of 4. This means that hemp is much better at storing electricity than graphene. The best part is that the hemp fiber that was used is typically considered waste and is thrown, so is incredibly less expensive and easier to source than graphene. Hemp fiber experiments. So why aren't we using hemp fiber to create batteries? The hemp fiber experiments were done on a small scale, so they still require peer-reviewed studies, blah, blah, blah. And then they stop them right there because it's fake science. Unfortunately, hemp also has a long history of discrimination. Not only is it incredibly versatile, it is a natural material that is easy to produce. This puts it in direct competition with many different industries. Yes, it does. Then we have this. These cannabis cars run on batteries made of hemp. They could change how we think about electric vehicles. And this is a new article from January 6, 2023. And you may want to go there and look at that too and read up on it. As a substance, hemp is a jack of all trades and a master at making products more sustainable. The plant fiber comes from the stems of the cannabis plant and is used in everything from building materials to clothing, food products, and even auto parts. And soon we might be powering electric vehicles with it. So-called cannabis cars have all kinds of benefits, and engineers are exploring the potential that hemp has to offer. Here's what to know about it. People often think hemp and marijuana are the same thing since they both come from cannabis plants, but you can't get stoned from hemp because it contains only a tiny fraction of THC that marijuana does. Hemp is one of the most sustainable materials available to manufacturers because it's cheap to grow, uses little water, doesn't need any toxic pesticides, and can absorb more carbon than trees. So where's Greta on this one? Greta, where are you? Hemp batteries have their own advantages too. These batteries use lighter and more widely available materials like sulfur, boron, and hemp instead of heavy metals used in traditional lithium-ion batteries. Mining cobalt and nickel for EV batteries is environmentally destructive. Greta, where are you? Practice because of the toxic chemicals that seep into the soil and water of surrounding communities. These rare metals are also expensive to mine and will be subject to shortages in the future. But you can't get shortages from hemp. Some EVs use a device called a supercapacitor, which stores energy through static electricity. That would be ether. They call it static electricity. Rather than a chemical reaction like in conventional batteries. Supercapacitors can absorb and release power faster than traditional lithium-ion batteries, meaning they only take a few minutes to charge up. Minutes, not hours and hours, minutes. In these batteries, a material called graphene is used to keep the battery from wearing out too quickly, but graphene is expensive and difficult to mass produce, and that's where hemp comes in. To create these cannabis cars, scientists used hemp bark, waste product created by cannabis plants, and cooked it to make a substance that resembles graphene. The technology is starting to spread. For example, a Texas-based company called BEMP Research has used this technique to create lightweight lithium-sulfur battery made of boron, sulfur, and hemp. Yeah, but they're still using lithium. So, we need to get past this. Let's see what Tesla had to say. Oh my. The mystery of Nikola Tesla's batteryless electric car. So what they're saying now is we don't need batteries at all. The modern Tesla is known for making modern electric cars, but the truth is the original Nikola Tesla made an electric car and he did it all without batteries way back in 1931. Or did he? Yeah, I believe he did. He did it sooner than that. We'll talk about that next. let's see what happened. Taken into a small garage, Dr. Tesla walked directly to a Pierce Arrow, opened the hood, and began making a few adjustments. In place of the engine was an AC motor. This measured a little more than 3 feet long, a little more than 2 feet in diameter. From it trailed 2 very thick cables, which were connected to the dashboard. In addition, there was an ordinary 12-volt storage battery. The motor was rated at 80 horsepower. Maximum rotor speed was stated to be about 30 turns per second. A 6-foot antenna rod, now that's important, was fitted into the rear section of the car. Dr. Tesla stepped into the passenger side and began making adjustments on a power receiver which had been built directly into the dashboard. The receiver, no longer than a shortwave radio of the day, used 12 special tubes, which Dr. Tesla brought with him in a box-like case. The device had been pre-fitted into the dashboard, no longer than a shortwave receiver. Mr. Savos told Mr. Ayler that Dr. Tesla built the receiver in his hotel room, a device 2 feet in length, nearly 1 foot wide, and a half a foot high. These curiously constructed tubes having been properly installed in their sockets, Dr. Tesla pushed in 2 contact rods and informed Peter that power was now available to drive. Several additional meters read values which Dr. Tesla would not explain. Not a sound was heard. Dr. Tesla handed Mr. Savo the ignition key and told him to start the engine, which he promptly did. Yet, hearing nothing, the accelerator was applied and the car instantly moved. Tesla's nephew drove this vehicle without other fuel for an undetermined long interval. Mr. Savo drove a distance of 50 miles through the city and out to the surrounding countryside. The car was tested to speeds of 90 miles an hour, with the speedometer rated to 120. I believe the antennas were for ether energy, which is everywhere around us. That's what causes thunderstorms and lightning above us. They call it static electricity, but it is the ether. Anyway, but there's also the tantalizing grain of possibility in all this as well. From 1901 to 1917, Tesla built and was engineering the Wardenclyffe Tower, a facility used to, among other things, test the broadcast of electricity as EM waves through the air, much as we broadcast audio as EM waves through the air for radio. Such a system, if perfected, would in fact allow electric cars to operate without batteries. Ideally, it would allow anything to operate without batteries as long as you were within range of receiving electrical broadcast power. If this had worked and my telco got involved, however, I'd probably end up pushing my wireless electric car all over my stupid neighborhood based on the way they get a signal to my mobile phone. So, if one reads the account in the context of a car driven by broadcast electricity, produced by more or less conventional means, and not a car driven by a magic black box, then the story becomes more interesting, because it is just possible that Tesla could have installed a receiver in an electric car or car modified to be electric that would have worked. There's no actual hard evidence he did this, but electric cars did exist, and he had already demonstrated the ability to broadcast electricity, so the pieces were certainly there. And this one I love. Did you know that in 1926, Nikola Tesla filed a U.S. Patent Office document with the title Hemp Rectifying Modulator? Quote, "The reefer plant of the West Indian Negro has remarkable healing and spiritual properties sacred to some of their religions and health. I have no doubt that in the near future, reefer hemp will replace petroleum additives in both engineering and medicines." End quote. Nikola Tesla. And I promised you to show something about Tesla and an earlier electric car that he had designed. From Arthur Matthews' 1986 interview. Another one of Tesla's great inventions was the electric car. He built the first one in 1897, and he drove from New York City to Buffalo, New York, and it had an average speed of 94 miles an hour. That's stunning. Apart from mechanical parts, that is to say the wheels and the steering apparatus, compose the only moving parts. The engine in this electric car is a small alternating current motor which runs at the tremendous speed of 30,000 RPM, and this is reduced to 1800 by means of fluid transmission, also the invention of Tesla. The whole electric car is a magnificent piece of work. I could give a few details about this electric car. You see, it does not use a storage battery. It uses the special primary battery, and if you know anything about primary batteries, you'll know that the only part of a primary battery which fails is the negative plate. Any little dry cells you use for your flashlight, for instance, is the zinc which gives way, and when that gives way, the battery goes dead. Well now, Tesla invented a completely new kind of primary battery, and in this primary battery, if the negative plate wears out, it can be replaced even by a child in a few seconds. And the battery, when installed in this electric car, will run that car 500 miles before the battery needs to be attended to. And when the battery does need to be attended to, it would take you 10 minutes to remedy whatever is going on, and the spare parts are all in the trunk. You have enough spare parts to keep that battery running 12 months of the year. You do not have to stop at service stations. You can run 500 miles at 75 miles an hour across the country and probably not have to stop more than 15 minutes to attend the batteries. What that means is that if he's using ether energy on these, which I'm certain he was, you don't necessarily need towers. You just need the right antenna to pick up the right energy from the air and the ether that's all around us. How about that? I bet you never got taught this in school, did ya? Do you hear this on MSM? No? Yeah, me neither. Crickets chirp. Then I looked at this, and this is a picture similar to the Pierce arrow that Tesla modified in 1931. And this guy says, "Last night I discovered a website that everyone out there will be excited to see. The website explains how Tesla could have powered his 1931 Pierce arrow electric car. There are two schematic diagrams showing a series in a parallel circuit that Tesla could have used. The tubes were a common wave rectifier that, believe it or not, are still available today. I know all of you want to see this site, but be patient. Here are the circuit diagrams." So there's the circuit diagrams. And I'm not into electrical engineering, but this is interesting. The Pierce Arrow car, on which Tesla installed an electric motor instead of an internal combustion engine, and a wonderful box, apart from the press in the newspaper about this episode, there's no evidence available for analysis. From an engineer's point of view, installing an AC motor on an electric vehicle requires a serious piece of equipment called an AC motor controller. And so they show some of the parts that you can get to actually make this work again. And they talk about the engineering task involved. I mean, but it's doable. There it is. Let's see. They demonstrated a machine single-arm converter, motor dynamo with impressive performance. And so there's a model of one of Tesla's patents. Here's some more of Tesla's patents. Let's look at another example. At the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, it was electric cars that were widespread in the United States. So there's some patents that definitely have something to do with that. And then here's some more information that he gave. Here's a patent for a 1922 electric vehicle in the United States. And once again, you're probably just learning about this because we're never taught any of this in schools. We're taught, oh, gas motors, gas motors. Oh, they only went 30 miles an hour. And it's all crap. Everything we ever taught was a lie. And so here's some more information if you'd like to read it. Just stop the screen and read what's going on here. And by the way, more than a few people repeated Tesla's experiments with electric vehicles, and they worked. And, oh, look at this one. I bet it went 88 miles an hour. By creating the Tilley Foundation Corporation in 2001, Carl Tilley set out to prove the reality of the idea. It was an ambitious idea that began to be just a moment. Carried out in a production facility in Tennessee where it was supposed to create the first self-generating electric machine. Construction on the 1,800 square foot building powered by a newly developed electrical device. Oh, the building was powered by a newly developed electrical device. Sounds like a Tesla tower. Began in 2002. No external power supply was required to supply the building with electricity. Ironically, on the basis of one alternative energy device, it was possible to develop an invention that formed the basis for creation of the electric machine. Compared to gasoline vehicles, the Tilley vehicle exhibits more advanced technology. The difference is that there is no need for fuel, and there is no need to stop and recharge the battery after driving. Sound familiar yet? No pollution occurs, and you can travel the roads at the same speed as my other car. Greta, are you paying attention? The installed electric motor produces over 130 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. This machine has a 3-speed automatic transmission that runs smoothly and is completely silent. For quick, trouble-free braking, the machine is equipped with 4 braking wheel discs. Counterweighted wing doors require only 14 inches of clearance. The tilting sports sunroof is dynamically designed in such a way that braking effects are virtually eliminated. All of the components, along with the use of a flawless steel hull, make for a magnificent machine. Thanks to the control center for the power supply, everything necessary is done to ensure that the batteries remain charged during the operation of the machine, regardless of the speed or degree of vacuum of the power supply. Your energy system will be charged for as long as you use it. You just need to get in the car, start it up, and drive it like any other. How about that? And then we get to the 1981 DeLorean was converted to Tilley's electric car. Alternation of the car began at the end of June 2002. Work on the metal assembly, namely the development of electrical motor support, installation of the motor power supply in the control center on the TEV device, was completed in July 2002. In order to verify the effectiveness of TEV technology, several tests were carried on. One of the last tests was done on September 7, 2002. As a result, after driving the car for 17.3 miles on the superhighway at 80 miles an hour to 90 miles an hour, an independent expert confirmed that the batteries remained fully charged. On March 28, 2003, in the state of Tennessee, USA, 20 armed men confiscated all devices, documents, and bank accounts of Tilly Foundation, Inc. So far, they have not returned anything or reimbursed the cost, said Carl Tilly, president and owner of the company. So yeah, of course, the satanic mafia is not going to allow you to know about this actually ancient technology, about the ether energy that's all around you, about the fact that Tesla built one in 1897, and that you could have that today instead of paying them how much money for gasoline. And of course, gasoline is not from fossil fuels. The earth creates it continuously, all the time. So there's another big lie. And by the way, why do we even need four wheels? This is what we should be having today, honestly. You should probably watch my video about thulium, because thulium is the key to making these so-called anti-gravity devices work. Thulium. Other people are using other metals to try to make this happen, but they're not right. It's thulium, people. Thulium and mercury, amongst other things. Anyway, we'll get to this. If you'd like to support my channel, please like and subscribe. Please check out the products on my site, miracleproducts.com. You can physically raise your body's frequency and heal yourself from many diseases and pain. Miracle Products has been banned from eBay, Etsy, Amazon, and Google ads, so your support is welcome. I'll put a link below, but I've been at this since 2016, when I extracted the pure frequency of the hemp plant, of all things. Tesla would be thrilled with me. And there's some of my products, and I've got sprays and gels that all you do is massage that into your arthritis, tendinitis, carpal tunnel syndrome, any place where you have pain, and the relief is almost instantaneous. Tesla knew. And then I go with what's legal, and all my products are legal. There's a testing report attached here that shows that it has no THC and actually no CBD in the pure frequency product. And then I actually talk about Tesla here. If you wish to understand the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I basically got the frequency part right. And this shows the frequencies of your body. And if they drop, which different symptoms you can get. So raise your frequency. You can use these products to use it externally and internally. I've got internal products as well. And you can actually heal yourself. And there's an article and description about how I used frequency products to pull nanoparticles out of my body. And that story is attached there. And these are the one string of the nanos that came out of my body that I got out of the tub. I soaked in a tub with high frequency bath and body oil, and they rose to the top of the tub where the oil was because they go to higher frequencies. That's how these things find life forms. So I was right about that one. Thank you, Tesla. And then I have a photo gallery down here that shows before and after photos of skin cancer. Before. That's before, and that's after about 8 weeks. Arthritis before, and that's after 2 weeks. Surgery, 11, 12, 20. 19 days later, she looked that good. 3 months later, there was almost no scar, and her doctor was shocked. He'd never seen anybody heal like that. There's eczema before, and only 3 days later, it looked that good. Oh, and holy oil will definitely help you with your intestinal health and losing weight. And that's another skin cancer. If you want to, you can go into the testimonials and read what people are saying about how these products have helped them. It works well. No more OxyContin at night. Yay. So it eliminates pain that good. I used this and felt no pain instantly. Everyone I know who tried some felt the same way. Heidi. I've been using Miracle Tincture for a good 6 months or so. I have arthritis and a knee replacement that is causing a lot of pain. As soon as I spray the tincture on my knee, instant relief. Love, love, love this stuff. And you can read about how it heals COPD as well. I have got lots of testimonials in here, so feel free to go to the site and look through those. And also, it works on your animals, your pets too. Dogs, cats. You can read about Victory Oil, which is good to use with animals as well as yourself. And it also kills the parasites that are in your body. That's how they're killing us with myocarditis, is with parasites. Parasites cause it. The doctor won't tell you that, but you can look it up on the internet and you find out it's true. So there you go. We can get all of this under control. Thank you for watching my videos. I would like to see you back in the future. Get well. Take care of yourself. God bless.